Thank you for joining me for yet another unboxing video. And today we have the core box set of the board game Six, based on Ubisoft's game Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, a game by Carlos Gomez Quintana, brought to you by Ubisoft and Mythic Games. Six Siege, the board game, is an asymmetric tactical game based on Ubisoft's Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Agents from different task forces are recruited into Team 6 and trained to avert a global crisis. They compete in friendly matches as attackers or defenders, combine unique operations to form powerful squads, deploy them on destructible maps, and lead your team to victory. Fast-paced action that will keep you on the edge of your seat until the end of the game. As an attacker, you'll use your explosive arsenal to destroy walls and obstacles to achieve your objectives. As a defender, you'll shape the battlefield to your advantage and seek to thwart your opponent's plans by preventing them from attacking. Again, this is for ages 14 plus. For more information, go to mythicgames.net. And I picked this up in the aftermarket on Facebook Marketplace. I just wanted to copy the core box set. I know there was a Kickstarter to back this, and there was a tremendous amount of extra add-ons and expansions and all that stuff that you could buy. But I wasn't really sure about the all the components. I wasn't really sure about the game itself. I kind of heard about it afterwards. So, like I said, I picked this up on a whim to see whether I'd like the game or not. So again, a lot of stuff has been punched already, but in little baggies, and also it would come on punch boards and things of that nature. But again, picking up in the aftermarket, I didn't have, it's not going to be a pristine copy of the game. So again, let's crack this bad boy open to see what kind of goodness we have on the inside. And right off the bat, we got lots and lots of goodness that I see. So first thing we got here is an important note. It says, sometimes your pledge isn't perfect. While we have prepared your pledge to the highest standards, we realize that as with every process, errors can be made, items can be left out, and damages can occur in transit. If your pledge contains bent or broken miniatures, damaged boxes, or after double checking you are sure that you are missing items or components, then please reach out to our support team, shipping in Europe and everything else. For more information, go to support@mythicgames.net. All right, nice little letter there. So we're going to put that to the side. So we have several different books here and help guides and things of that nature. Okay, so right here we're going to start off by looking at the rule book. Bring this down just a little bit, the rule book. So again, we have our introduction. So let's read that introduction. Because again, I'm not that familiar with Rainbow Six, so Six Siege is the name of the game. So let's take a look at this. It says here again, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege is a tactical shooter video game in which two squads face off for training missions carried out under realistic conditions in authentic, destructible environments. The game focuses on the player's ability to cooperate and devise successful team strategies. Players play as operators handpicked from special forces and counterterrorism units. Together, they from Team Rainbow, each operator has their own special equipment and attributes. Six Siege, the board game, is an asymmetric board game for 2 to 4 players in 2 opposing squads. Games are played with a time limit and are set in various environments, inspired by maps from the video game. Each squad consists of 5 operators, either attackers or defenders. The standard gameplay mode is for 2 players at an intermediate difficulty level and uses the core rules in this rulebook. There are also special ops modules for a more challenging experience and a multiplayer mode supporting up to 4 players. Okay, and it appears that you require an app, which can be downloaded for free on Google Play Store and Apple Store. If you are unable to use the app or prefer not to, you see the no app variant on page 29. So it just gives you a showing of what's inside the box and some more figures that are inside the box. So we've got our core concept. So it looks like there are 5 steps for each turn. Attacker's first activation phase, defender's first activation phase, attacker's second activation phase, defender's second activation phase, and then the upkeep phase. All right. Aim of the game, control mission, bomb mission, hostage mission. The missions are described in greater detail in the mission guide, which we're going to go through as well. And then you have thermite, ash, and sledge. Different types of bombs you got. You got game areas, environment. They're going to go into adjacent spaces, line of sight, important notes, doors and windows, rooms, doors. Moving on, we've got structural elements, entryway spaces, heavy walls, fortified walls, light walls, hold walls. You've got different operators, operator statuses, line of sight, status markers, stunned. You've also got Overwatch, eliminated, revealed, hidden operators, different kinds of weapons, setting up the game. You also have here squad selection, game speed setting, attackers deployment, deployment timeout, defenders deployment, gameplay sequence, which we went over already. Just gives you examples of all that. You have different pictures of, again, this is a timed event. You have the upkeep phase, actions available on hidden operators. So the actions a player can choose from. Let's take a look at these. You can move, run, shoot, overwatch, use tactical gadget, use a special gadget, action effect, or destroy. So far it seems pretty straightforward. Actions you can do: moving an operator, passing obstacles, movement by hidden operators, pausing a move action. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Shooting actions, running. Again, gives you many, many examples of everything we have here. So when I'm looking through this rulebook, one thing I'm noticing is that it appears that it's helping people who've never played a miniature-based game change over from playing the video game to playing the actual miniatures game, which is very cool that they give a lot of examples in here. So that's really, really cool. I like that. Projection for learning operators. Moving forward here, it gives you more Overwatch status markers, how to use Overwatch, ending Overwatch. Get more about the hidden characters, shooting, tactical gadgets, special gadgets, line of sight, of course, location of partitions, bulletproof areas. Goes into operator reactions, some challenges, challenging other game effects, challenging a shot, different gadgets that characters can use. Again, checking line of sight, which is going to be very, very important. Activating gadgets, gadget effects that they can possibly have. Then you have, let's see what some of these things you got here. You got cameras, deployable shields, barbed wire, fortified entryways. You have bulletproof cameras, nitro cells, impact grenades, tactical gadgets. You have breach charge, tactical drones, frag grenades, flashbang grenades, smoke grenades, claymores, fair play pauses, effects and rules. No app variant is in the back as it mentioned. Again, using the no best of 3 matches, operator selectors, and then of course the multiplayer mode, which you can play. Then it's got a bunch of alternate profiles and hints and tips of how to play the game if you are the defender or you are the attacker. And then of course your index, your credits to all the great people who brought you this game. And on the back it just has a cool picture here. Again, Seige, the board game. So that's very, very cool. All right, so we got this and this. I'm going to put that here, put this back here, and move this up a little further up to here, which we'll get back to that. And then we're going to take a look at real quick. We have here the mission guide. So we have some mission guides. So I'm going to pull this off real quick, and we'll put it back in a second as soon as we're done with this one. So with the core rulebook, sorry, I meant to mention it to you. You've got about 32 pages of rules, about 32 pages of rules. Then we're rolling into the mission guide. Again, instructions, mission descriptions, the rules, the game length, the victory conditions, the rules, escorting the hostages, extracting hostages, and then gives you your setup of your game. So you have Abidjan, Ivory Coast Consulate. There's a bomb there. The consulate is the hostage. You're grabbing a hostage, so you got to shut the bomb off. You got to have the hostage. All of them are set up the same way. What your required components are: your mission selection, your deployment, your optional module, and how to set up the board. And all of them are set up the same way. So you got hostage situation, you got bomb situation here. Again, you have clubhouse bomb, Again, you have a hostage situation. Again, so one takes place in Germany, one takes place off the Ivory Coast. And then we have consulate control for beginner, again at the Ivory Coast. Again, for beginner right there. So that's where you're going to start off with. So I don't know why they didn't put beginner on the first page. I'm not sure why they set up the way they set it up, but you put the beginner with beginner. And then, of course, you also have your starter missions, again, here with the Ivory Coast. And your hostage situation, your bomb and hostage situation. And there you have it. So you have pre-made squads. So you don't have the choice of who you want to use. So it's pre-made for you. And the setup and tells you exactly where the tokens are, and everything else goes just like that. So they should have put the starter missions on the front and then the more advanced missions in the back. But again, that's okay that they didn't do that. That's okay. Again, very, 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 very small booklet we have here. And you have a total of, I guess, 11 pages in your mission guide. So you have your core rulebook, you have your Kickstarter statement, you have your rulebook here, and you have your mission guides. So you have this up a little bit. And then we have some helpful sheets. You've got your operator actions that you can choose from. You can move, run, overwatch, shoot, use tactical gadget, destroy, use a special gadget action effect. And there's your game round again, your activation of the various people, offense, defense, and then your upkeep round and your different protections that you have. And you flip that over, your gadgets and what the icons mean for each of those, your keywords, and then you have a fortified entry, your breach charge, again, on offense and defense, which is really cool. So you get 2 of those sheets, which is very cool. And then you also get yourself a copy of how to put everything together, which is very helpful when I use that. Then there was actually, this is really cool actually. So you've got, so when I mentioned to you before that you had, of course I got, this is the core box set with the, when you can add in your expansions and all your extra add-ons and purchases. They add a huge amount of extra characters in for you, different teams, and they give you a nice little overview of everything that you can do in terms of setting up and picking out new characters. So you have, obviously, based just by looking at this here, the different teams that you can get. You have your purple team, your green team, your orange team, your regular team that comes with this box, and these are just your attackers. And then you flip that over, you have your list of defenders. So again, you could really, really customize this game if you decide to back it as a complete backup. But they add this in here to show you that you want it. Again, I picked this up in the aftermarket, so again, I didn't want all the extra expansions. I really didn't even know this was going on, so I picked it up when people really started talking about it, and there was a lot of buzz around this Kickstarter that I was reading about. So then we have our game boards for each of our characters, your tactical inventory. Again, all of your icons are explained, your bulletproof camera, your impact grenade, your nitro cells, and your deployable shields. Again, your 6 Seige is on the back there. So that's tactical inventory. And again, you have your tactical drone, your breach charge, your claymore, frag grenade, flashbang grenades, and your smoke grenades, how many you got with you. So there you go, and if you're going to use those. And then we have a card here for Defender Recruit. Tells you a little bit of information about him, the type of weapon he has, range, run 5, destroy, what his armor value is. So again, they give you a bunch of these different choices of the characters that you can pick from, which is really, really cool actually. So we got, again, they're all set up the same way, front and backs. So you have a defender, it's castle. So I like the fact that the blue also indicates one part, red is a different part. So again, you've got your different characters here. You have defender castle, armored panels, tells you his range, 4 to 6, 7+ his weapons. Again, he's a defender, run, destroy, 5 armor. There's that stuff here. And you go on the back, it gives you a little bit more about the armor panels, headshot, body shot, the type you're going to take, and the setup where how you're going to set him up. So there you go. So that's all of them are set. All the cards are, again, they're nice thick cardboard, really nicely done, very, very cool. And you get choices. You get Castle, you get Bandit, you get Smoke, you get Mute, Jaeger, Pulse, Thunderbird, Tachanka, Jaeger, Rook, Kapkan, Tachanka, and you get Doc. So those are all your defender choices. And Recruit also is another one that you can get as well. So those are, so you get a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to choose from. So you have 14 of those. Make it 15, which is another one that says Recruit. This one has a shotgun. Again, a different type of weapon. And this one has that weapon up there. So there's your defender is Recruit, and there's your 2 recruits if you want to use those. And then on the other side, you have the attackers, so your defenders, and you have the attackers. And it tells you clearly right there. Again, all the cards are set up identically. So let's take a look at the characters that you can have. You can have Attacker Montang, Flores, Glaze, Twitch, Thatcher, Ash, Blitz, IQ, Thermite, Recruit, and Sledge. Again, Sledge and Fuse. So let's take a look at Fuse up a little bit for his weapons of choice, range, cluster charges, his actions, what he can do, deployable, ignoring a maximum of 1 light wall or barricade or vertical, perform the destroy action on all gadgets in the room and containing the targeted space, except always visible gadgets. Operators in the targeted room sustain a this. So I'll level that wound when charge goes off. Get 2 of those things, run, destroy, armor value of 6. And you flip it over. Again, tells you about the cluster charges. Again, headshot, body shot, maybe the wounds that he's taking. Could be possibly, not sure, haven't played the game yet. So those are, again, all these are set up. So again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different characters to choose from. Again, you're going to be either on offense as the attacker or defense as the defender. So you got those. Boom. Boom. And boom. So this is a little backwards, so I have a little baggy. So again, normally I show the cards and everything else like that. I have things packed a little differently in here, so I'm just going to pull it out as we get it. So we're going to do this a little differently this time. Looks like you got little shield icons. Not sure what those are used for, but you got a bunch of those. You have a bunch of ones that look like this, which is really, really cool as well, which I really liked about it. And again, they give you a bunch of standees. It's easy. You just put, it has an opening like that on the bottom, and you just simply slide that right in there. Nice and easy. You get some doubles. And you get singles. So these are, I'll see, to me, these are doorways. I'm assuming you get single doorways. You get a whole bunch of those. Now, again, because these were all put together, that's why I did not, maybe some barricades. Looks like some barricades as well. doorway. Doorway and some barricades. There's a tremendous amount of tokens and templates and stuff that are included in this game here. So let's just take a look at this one at a time. Again, there's a tremendous amount of stuff that's all set up already that I put together and that came put together in the box. So you get little tables that are put together, which is very, very nice. Very cool. Now I'm going to put a lot of this stuff aside because we're going to also have some boards I got to put out here for that. So again, some more stuff that we have here. I'm going to put all the stuff to the side because I know when we're going to get the boards out, it's going to be a little more tricky. So I want to take these off right now. But I'm going to show them to you because they're right on top. So you have some tables, circle table. Some stuff that you have to put together. I'm not quite sure what those are. But again, what's cool about them is that it does tell you, like the numbers tells you what letters and stuff to put it together. So it is pretty easy to put this stuff together. But once you have it together, it's kind of like you want to keep it together. You don't want to keep taking it apart and doing everything else. So it gets a little frustrating at times. A lot of upkeep and all this stuff. Again, these would all be in different types of punch-out boards. Again, different blown up parts of the building, which they have too, which is very cool that they have all these options for you as well. Very, very cool. You know, because you're blowing through walls, you're using thermite charges, you're using all kinds of bombs and grenades and stuff like that. So there's going to be definitely damages to the walls and stuff. Again, these are training scenarios from what I'm gathering. So you get a lot of those damaged pieces of walls, which is really cool. Walls. Now these are just some of the bases. Now when you get bases, they fall apart pretty quick, easily, if they're not glued into place. But again, these are bases. And see, very easy, you just snap them together like that. Real simple stuff. So those are bases. And what are they bases for? Well, you have large tables that you actually create. So that's part of the base of the tables. So you got this kind of table, you got this kind of table, you got more tables. So again, a lot of this has to do with time is actually just setting up, building, creating all the different features of the different terrain pieces, which is cool that this was included. Listen, I'm not complaining, but it took a considerable amount of time to put all the terrain together. And then once you kind of put it together, which is good because there's enough room in the box that you don't have to take it all apart again. So that's the reason why I'm kind of doing this Kickstarter, or not Kickstarter, but doing this unboxing a little differently this time, because again, all these pieces I already put together, you know, I'm not going to take them back apart again and throw them back in the box. So that's why I'm just kind of showing you different pieces as I'm pulling it out that you would use to, you know, that's a shield and stuff like that you would use that's in the game. Again, some more of these little targets that they have, all kinds of little targets. Again, these are those markers like that, again, at the shooting range or whatever they might be doing. A couple more of these look like that, small ends. And again, we've got a bunch of work tables and benches that are included as well. But again, you set them up. Once you set them up, you don't want to have to break it all down again. Again, you have more and more and more of these things. You have a couple of these that look blue instead of the orange. So directionals. And some more of those. And even more of them. A couple more of the damaged. Again, the different types of damaged walls that you can put in there, which is cool. It's actually very cool that they have these, which is very helpful. Okay, so your character's gonna, for line of sight and for movement through them, that's also cool to have some of those damage for the walls and stuff, because that's where you're gonna breach. Again, you have some more tabletops. I'll show you some of the tabletops again. Pool table, that's cool. You have this and that as well. So these are different tabletops that you have. And as you see here, it's relatively easy. So if you're doing a pool table, if that's the right sized one, you just put it in there like that. Put it in here like so. And boom, you got yourself a pool table. And that's your 3D thing. So, I mean, they're very easy to put together. But again, finding the right pieces that go with it. Again, what's cool is that they're all labeled. And you look for the H bases, and you look for the G bases, and you look for the ones that say A on them, and that's what you use those for, which is really easy to find. So if you look at this piece here, it's an H. H would go with this table here. Again, that's the piece that holds it up right there. So that's how and that's really how you put all the furniture together, which is really, really cool, like I said. And you get a ton of it, which is, again, the one thing about a lot of games is they give you, you know, all your core stuff that you need. Again, everything is labeled. Just to show you again real quick before I roll on. Again, you got your J, you got your J, and you got your O, and you got your J here. So these pieces go together here like so. As you can tell, that goes in here, and this goes here. And you look for the J piece, which I put over here somewhere, and that's going to be basically the table legs for you. So it's really done that simply, and it's really, really cool because you get so much terrain, which really in this type of game, the terrain is so important. And again, it's more of the bases of the legs for the different things that we showed you already. So that's really, really cool too. And then a couple more of these little terrain pieces here. Some little tables. Again, B, all the way going around, D going all around, B going all around. So it's nice and easy to put them all together. And it's nice, thick cardboard, so it means that they're going to last, which is really cool. And that's the cool thing about it. Again, once after the initial setup, that's where it's gonna drive you bonkers, because it's just one of those things where you're gonna have to, again, for the N, it's that simple. Boom, it's in there like that, and you got yourself a new table that you're gonna be setting up. Again, there's your N, and when you put that N right there, it goes right on top here. I don't have the other leg in there, but just to show you an example of what it would look like. So it is, or you just flip it over because that's N goes on the bottom, and then you find a space, Lamo, put it in there, and boom, you got yourself another table. So that's really that simple. But again, in a game such as this, where they're going through an office building or whatever, that terrain is a key feature to have. And if you're going to go out and buy all resin, you're going to make this, again, you're going to make these games cost a lot more than they already do. Then, of course, you also have your bases for your individual characters on there as well, and it has which is really cool because you have, again, your defender ones and you have your offense ones. So this is really cool where you sit there and each character has their actual name on there, so you know which character you're playing. So you got Blitz, just an example. So again, you've got Blitz and you got Pulse. So those are two of the characters you're going to be using. And all you got to do is go over here, find their card, find their figure, and boom, you're ready to roll in the game. And that's cool. You get a big baggie of all those characters, like we mentioned earlier in their video. So that's really cool. So I'm going to put this, I'm putting a lot of stuff to the side after showing it to you, only because the boards are going to start coming out. Of course, you also have your range rulers, your 6-inch and your 12-inch rulers. So that's So that's very, very cool. So it shows you your line of sight, which is cool because you can see through it, which is also very, very cool. But again, that is for your shots that you're going to be taking there. So you get your 6-inch and 12-inch ruler, which are really cool as well. Put that to the side. So I'm going to pull this all off because we're going to have some boards to show you. So I'm just going to pull this all off really quickly. Again, the reason we're doing the unboxing this way today is because, what can I say? It's the way I put it in the box to make it easier to take in and out. So I'm just going to pull this all off real quick. So we're kind of going, I don't want to say ass backwards, but we're going ass backwards today. So we have our you have a very, very large set of a very, very large fold-out board. I want to show this to you really quickly. Again, the game board is really, really very, very nice. Again, the cool thing with the 3D terrain pieces that you're going to put out there, you can put stuff out and it's going to be very, very cool. So let me just give you an example of that. So like example, you breach the wall and you blow through the wall over here in this section, you put that right there. And so you know that you can climb in through that, which is really, really cool. You have to go break through a door. Well, you got the door, well, that's a double door, so we'll use this double door instead. Double door will go there like that. Individual door, like right here, sets it up. So the terrain, and again, let's just hypothetically say there's a table, I don't know, somewhere in here. It's going to add a lot more just to realism of the game itself, which is really, really cool. So I do like the way that this has been designed, and I like the way all the terrain pieces that they've been added into. So that's really, really cool. So that's part of the board right there. I'm going to try to show you. I'll flip this over without, again, I don't want to crack the board. Just show you some more. So you have the defensive side, showing you here. Some more over here. So we're going to open this up here a little bit more to try to show you it. So again, more of the game board. So it's a pretty big game board overall, and it's 2 sides. So I'm going to try to, the best I can, because I pulled a lot of stuff off the table already. Again, I have not the largest of tables that I do my unboxing at, but at the same time, I'm going to try to show you the best I can without cracking the board. So again, this is one of the buildings. So I'll see the breaching was of 2 different sizes. So I'm going to show you this the best I can. Just try to show you the whole board. There we go there. And we're going to flip it around this way so you can try to get you the complete picture of the entire board. So there's some more there. And then moving across as we are here. So again, this is a pretty large board overall. So again, there would be your center point right up here. This would be your center point area right here. Move over just so you can see it a little better. Then on the top of the board also, which I'll show you, you have your, I guess, your round counter or whatever you may have up top here. Place for your attackers, part for your defenders as well. So again, that's your side. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to shake the camera, but the board got clipped on it. So that's one side of the board, and then when you flip this over, nice and easy. You get the second side of the board, which again, very, very nicely done. We're going to again show you, give you the panoramic, try to get you the whole board here as we try to show you, because that slides off that side onto the table, which is fine. Down there. Put this up just a little bit. bit so you can see that a little more. Maybe I can do it this way. That's your center point right there, is your center point right here on the board. So, and as we continue moving around here a little bit, but sorry, don't mean to hit the camera. Very, very cool. Again, very nice board. Very well done. Again, one side's going to be a little bit more poppy because, and when I say poppy, you know, be a little bit more it's not bent, it's just the way it is on the table. It's just the fact that when you have one board that's you know, when you have a board two sides, one side always lays a little flatter than the other does because it's just the way it's put in the box. And there you go, and there you go. That's the complete side, this side here too. So one side was the Ivory Coast and the other side was Germany, where their training ground is, I guess. And so that's the board again that you have there. Then so that's your one of the sides of your boards. Again, you have two-sided board. So again, we're going to throw into here, we're going to throw down that we have our original letter from the company. You have your rule set, you have your mission guide. Then we also had a bunch of the poster, which showed you all the possibilities for all the expansions. Then you had your that's the poster that showed you all the attackers, all the defenders, and all the options you had if you did all the add-ons. Again, here is your helpful hint guides, and this is again tells you how to set everything up. Again, if you look at it there, just showing you everything that I showed you as well, setting these up. Just gives you an idea for the cameras and different things that are also included, which we'll get to shortly. Again, these are the rings for the characters. One ring per figure that you have. Again, it identifies whether they're attacker or they're defender, and it has their names right on there, which is really cool. Nice little add-on there. These, again, again, I'll show it to you. Again, I'm not exactly sure what they're used for. Looks like a shield of some sort, but I'm not sure what that's used for. Again, that's why we got the rules. We'll have to read through that to try to figure out what the heck that board's used for. And then again, we had all the little terrain pieces, again, the tables and stuff like that, which we pulled out already as well. So we're gonna throw that stuff over to here. Of course, then you had all of your terrain pieces that we had here. But before that, we also had our range rulers, which are very, very important in the game. Also, you have your 6-inch and your 12-inch ruler. You also have your character boards. You had your tracking of inventory for the different figures, for your tactical, and for one side again is your defender and your attacker. So I'm going to throw these out there as well. And then we had our character boards again, which are your defenders and your attackers. I'm just going to slide this stuff up. So you can see that stuff there. All right, cool. Now you have all this terrain, which I'm just going to pull out here, that I already showed you, but just tremendous amounts of stuff that just enhance the overall feeling of the game, which is really, really cool. You know, it's a really cool concept for a game. Again, I didn't back the whole Kickstarter. I just picked this up in the aftermarket. I'm going to have to play a couple of games to see whether I want to invest into picking up any of the other potential. Again, these things all fall apart faster than you can anything. So, but you had markers, you had all these kinds of tables. As you know, you set them up. And as I just showed you, also kind of how to set them up is by looking at the letters. And just by doing the letters, you get all this extra stuff. Some of them, again, the smaller ones that look like this, those get thrown in there. Again, it's all letter. Again, as I mentioned before, and I showed you before how to set up, it's all based on letter. So it's time consuming when they fall apart. It's time consuming to put them back together. Again, so that's why kind of like in the box, I had them on top of everything else. And that's why I showed them to you first. Again, just for ease of time of taking things in and out of the box. Again, then you have these as well, which is really cool. And then you have some more of the desks, like I showed you, some of the more complex, the L-shaped desks. And then you have a couple of these as well, which are extra tables that hadn't been set up yet. So put that over here, put this over here. And one of the coolest part of the game, which I found, again, were the sections of the walls that get destroyed by the demolitions, which is really cool that they would add that into the game. I think that's really, really cool. Really, really nice add to the game. That's really, really awesome, I think. All right, so there you go. So that's what we've got so far. So I'm going to pull this back just a little bit so you see all the stuff that's pretty much being mentioned here. Here you go. So I put a bunch of stuff on the floor. Let me just pick it up real quick, then I could show you all that stuff. So there's lots and lots of tokens and terrain. So let's start off with the easiest one. Let's start off with the game-specific dice that we have here. You got a set of dice right there. So you have your yellow dice. You get 3 yellow dice, 2 orange, and 2 red. Again, bullet holes represent hits and how many hits you take. So you get 2 blank, you get 2 1s and 2 2s for your yellows. For red, you have 1, 2, and 3 hits. So these are for your more powerful weapons, obviously. And then you have your orange, which has just the 2. So it looks like 2 1s, 2 2s, a 3, and a nothing. So there you go. So you have your weakest, middle, and strongest attack. There they are, right there. So you got a set of dice that are in a cool baggie to keep those in. Of course, you have your player aids, which says whether you're on offense or on defense. That's cool as well. Then we have some of these markers for your ads. So if you're getting any additional +1 action token, -1 action token, if you lose an action for a reason or gain an action for a reason, you can mark it right there on the board, which is very cool. So some tokens for that as well. As I said to you previously in the video, I picked this up in the aftermarket. So some of the stuff here, as you're seeing here, has been pre-punched and it has been put together, and it has also been so that's why we have these. Again, we have some more of these, which look like they could be range rulers. I'm not quite sure what these were used for, but we got a couple of them in here. Let's show them to you. Not sure what those are for, but you got a small one and a big one. I'm assuming these are showing the range or the way they're defending. Again, it has all of them have the X on the back, so not sure whether that is showing you the direction of fire or anything of that nature. I'm not sure what these are used for, but you got a bunch for the defenders, and you also have the same for those who are on offense, and X on that side there. So I'm thinking maybe the maximum figures you're going to have is 6 on the board at one time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 on the board, 5 players at a time. You're controlling 5 figures because you have 5 and 5 of those. So I'm assuming that's the maximum that you can do. So and you got a baggie for that. You have showing your body armor. So maybe it's a hit to your body armor, possibly, that you would put on your character card that you had. Let's just grab that real quick. So maybe putting that on here like that. Boom, where you got hit. Okay. So I'm not sure. or maybe it's extra body armor, but it looks like these are hits. It looks like more because they're in red. But again, read the rule book. The rule book will explain everything to you. That's kind of cool. I like that too. And we have some more of these here. So let's take a look what these are. Ah, these look like they are for individual characters. Yep, these are for your individual. Yep. It says Pulse, Chenka. This one has a picture of him on it. Not sure why. Again, maybe that's who they're targeting. Not sure. Dog. So again, you get it all, looks like you get all your defenders in these, yeah, Castle, Mute, Tachanka. So that's all, it looks like it's targets for shooting. So instead of putting figures out there, you can put these out there. That's cool. In other words, this is where those defenders are located. So you get a whole bunch of those again. And they're all pretty much the same. Some have the picture of the character on the back of them. Some of them have the X marks a spot. Again, there's one that has the Jaeger. It has a picture of him on the back of it. So there you go. So they have large ones like that for defenders. So if the attackers are coming in, and you're just putting these in these little things here, you can use that as well. And then on this one here, you have movement for your attackers. So your movement tokens for those characters as well. So I guess if you didn't want the add-on, you didn't want to use, if you didn't want to pay for one, you doesn't want feelings. If you wanted to not use a figure, you could always just use these guys themselves here, showing which direction now where they're facing. Right, so that's facing forward. That's facing to the side. So that would be up and down, would be facing forward. So you have that for all of your attackers, which is very cool as well. Or it could also be if someone is hiding there or something like that. So that's also another thing too. Again, all these tokens, I'm assuming what they are, but again, you have the red ones as well, the red team as well. Which is very cool. Oh, there's a hostage for you that you got to find, the hostage. So if you don't have the hostage figure, that's where the person is. Just laying them out on the board, again, showing directionality. So that's cool too. And then we've got these little shield icons here. Not exactly sure what they mean, but you got some sort of thing there, and you got these icons as well, so I can pull those out. There's a body armor icon on them. And you have this detonated and maybe not detonated, what you're looking for. You have extra cameras for the poles, which we'll show you those in a little bit. Those are things that you can put on, and you'll see that. I'll show you that in a minute. Larger. Oh, those are the cameras. Sorry, those are the extra cameras. Those are cool. Those are mirrors or something like that. I forget what they were called. This kind of goes on the stand. Oh yeah, they are cameras. They are cameras. I was right. So those are the cameras. Those are the cameras. So that's really cool. These are cameras. And so those go on the little poles. And then we also have these here, which I forget what these are, but those were cool. Those are video cameras that are you put in your rooms. So when they're walking in, you know. And this is something else. Not sure what these are. If that's a radar or what that is. I'm not sure what those are used for. Close monitoring circuit or something. I'm not sure what that is. But again, it's explained to you in the core rulebook. All that stuff explained to you in the core rulebook. All right, that's cool too. These might be motion sensors. That's what those might be. And then you have some identifying locations, which are really cool as well. And then we have these as well. Not sure what these are used for. Not sure, but I get a bunch of those. Again, I don't know what they're used for, so that's one you're gonna have to look in the rulebook to figure out what those are used for. And then you have some more of these here. You have them in red and you have them in blue. So I'm not sure what they are. Yeah, it's interesting. Not even sure how you put them on a board like that. You put them up like that. I don't know. I don't know. That's here. So you get a set of orange and blue. So it looks like you get, basically you're getting two of everything. And then you get these as well, which show you the cameras and different things. Again, shows you directionality. I'm not sure what these are used for. So this looks like, oh, the barbed wire. That's barbed wire. Okay. So again, each scenario is going to be a little different. So they may tell you. So you got some wires. Looks like you got barbed wire. Not sure what that. Oh, the drones and stuff like that. This might be. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That maybe the facing of the cameras. I'm not sure again what these are here. But they're all very similar in nature. Some more of these. Not sure what they're used for, but it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and up to 5. So there's your 5. Oh, so it's 1, 2, 3, and 5. You got those tokens as well. And nowadays, what game would be complete if you did not have any cubes for your boards, which are easy to see. And those go obviously into your tactical inventory boards, which are over here. Obviously, this cube goes in here like bizarre, just like that. And they stay in there pretty tight, which is cool. But there you go. Those are going to go in there. And you get a baggie full of those as well. And last but not least, you get some of these exclamation points. So you had your pinpoint, and now you have your exclamation point, which is cool. All right, so that's your exclamation points. Very, very cool. And last but not least, we also have our comes with a box of figures. That come in a plastic tray. Pull those out real quick. And there's a bunch of stuff that's in here still. All right, so give me a second here. And they're clearly marked, which is really cool that they're clearly marked with blue or orange, so letting you know whether they are someone on, whether they are on the attacker or the defender. You get 3 of these, 1 in blue and 2 in orange. So we're getting to the figure. So that's really cool too. You get this one here, which is pretty cool. That's really cool. You capture the flag, but that's your maybe your championship thing that you get there. This is really cool too. That if you pop smoke, it fills the air. That's very, very cool. Might be gas. Not sure, but this is obviously smoke. So you pop smoke, there it is right there. And you got bases for that as well, which is really, really cool. And these are nice thick plastic, nice thick cut plastic. Really, really nicely done. Very nicely done. And then you have some more of those as well here. Some more of the yellow. So you have smoke grenade, you have, that might be the flashbang grenades, I'm assuming. And then you have fires. Oh, that's your smoke, that's your fire. That's really, really cool as well. Again, you have 2 of these, you have 3 of those in total with your oranges. You have these plastic things that you put your cameras and you put all those things in as well. To give you one for an example. And then you have your bases that you put them in, which are really cool. So you get a bunch of these. Oh. Depending on the height of the cameras. So there you go. That's an example of one, just like I said right there. These are, it's a smaller one. So you put that thing on there like that. Just slides right in, nice and easy. Again, you want to put your camera up a little higher. That's where it is, so it tells you. There's the information on it right there. So that's very cool as well. Looks like a weight. Not sure what that's used for, but that's kind of cool. Put the little 6 thing over there too. We have some extra stands for our standees and for the different things that we're using. You have these as well, which are, you're going to hold your different, these things are going to go into here like so, and it's going to give you the height to it, to stand it. It tells you the direction of which it's facing. So that's what that's used for. Okay, so it snaps in place and it tells you exactly where on the base, where it tells you exactly, shows you, which is really cool. Right there, it shows you which direction it's showing, the height to it, and then you put the camera up there. So if we put this in the corner real quickly, just to show you how that would be used. So I put this thing to the side, so you have a little camera, right? The camera's up high, so we're just gonna put that in here like that. It shows that you have a camera in the room, which is really, really cool when you think about it. So they're watching everything. So there you go with that as well. And they come right out easily. So again, you get a bunch of these stands as well. again, those are those. Very, very cool. And your cameras can go back over here. And then we have our figures. Again, their nameplates slide right onto it. Now, again, I'm not saying that this is that character, but whatever his name is, let's just hypothetically say he's Thatcher. You take this character, you put him in here like this. And we know exactly that that's Thatcher, which is cool. It just pops on that easy, and you put your finger in there, pop it right out. So that's cool. I do like that. It's a little different. Normally these are just circle bases and you put them in there, but this adds a little bit cool thing to it. That's cool, but they do that. Very cool. But anyway, so just showing you that how those bases work, and that's why they had the little opening in the front of it. So that's one of your figures there. Very, very high detailed miniatures, which is really, really cool. And these are a little bit larger size, so I'm going to probably say 30, 32 sized figures. They're very, very well done. I'm going to go across the top there. Very cool. Very, very cool looking miniatures. Got the shotgun. Put these over here somewhere. Put these in the back here somewhere. On the tables, so they're kind of out of the way. And then we have got the sledgehammer, which is really, really cool. Coming in. And we got this guy here. And him. Really, really, again, really, really outstanding miniatures for this game. Really, really cool. So that's, and here's a couple more of your, I see breachers. These are your blue team, basically. So these are the blue. Again, blue represents your attacker. And that's your attacker. Very, very, very detailed and very, very cool miniatures. So those are your attackers. You also have your hostage. That's your hostage miniature. We'll put down here with this guy. I'm going to pull this camera back just a little bit more because we have just a little bit more stuff to go. So we have our orange team. Very cool. Really cool detail, really, really nice figures. Really, 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 really awesome figure. I'm gonna put this guy up here. Put this over here, just so I can kind of get these out of the way. I'm gonna put him up there. Maybe have this person right here. Again, 6 Siege is the game. And we're wrapping it up here. again, which is really cool, is that you get all these individualized miniatures, which is really, really cool. Gives you a lot of selection as to choosing what character you want to be in the game. Gives you a lot of options, which is really, really cool, actually. Very, very cool. And I can understand why a lot of people, because when you get the Kickstarter and you do the extra add-ons, you get a lot more options for figures as well and more characters. So it's, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, this whole thing. I'm really digging this. And again, these figures are really, really top-notch. Again, and just by looking at them, it's going to be pretty easy to figure out which cards they are, and then you can match the bases for them with their names on it. You can do that as well, which is really, really cool. Very cool. This guy saying, shh, listen. These guys, I'll move them up just a little bit so I can fit the last couple guys in there. Then you have this guy here. And the last two. And last but not least, load of attack armor. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. And of course you have the tray that goes with it. So there you have it. This is everything that's included, and this concludes our unboxing of the core box set of Seige 6, the board game, brought to you by Ubisoft and Mythic Games. For more information, you can go to mythicgames.com. Nope, we're going to change that again. We're going to say it's mythicgames.net. Again, Mythic Games. That's mythicgames.net. Again, this was released a couple of years back in 2023, and this is the core box set. And this is everything that's included, and this concludes our unboxing. As always, thank you so much for joining me for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, you could always give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below. You could also hit that subscribe button. This way you're kept up to date as to anytime we release new content to the page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the next unboxing video.